Centuries rise and fall, empires vanish, and yet one truth remains: there always comes a final hour. Not the end of the world, but the end of a way of living. When that moment arrives, only those prepared in silence, discipline, and clarity can step forward as chosen. In the Shaolin tradition, the final hour is not a prophecy written in the stars. It is the precise moment when life demands your highest self. A monk does not wait for destiny to strike. He trains so that when it does, he is ready. This readiness is not loud. It is quiet. It comes from the breath, from stillness, from the sharpening of awareness, until a single second carries the weight of eternity. You will hear of teachings rarely spoken outside temple walls, how breath can slow time, how silence becomes a weapon stronger than a sword, and how restraint liberates more power than indulgence ever could. These are not tales of fantasy. They are truths carried through centuries of Shaolin practice, truths for those who sense that their hour has come. Many believe mastery is about defeating an enemy. The Shaolin path whispers otherwise. The greatest victory is over the self, over the restless mind, over the endless cravings that keep one enslaved. When this is understood, the chosen step forward, not in fear, but in calm readiness. Stay with me until the end of this teaching, because every principle shared today is a key. Keys that unlock a discipline few ever grasp, but all desperately need. This is knowledge for those who feel the weight of responsibility in their bones. Welcome to Shaolin Soulfire. I invite you to subscribe, so you may continue walking this ancient path with us, one breath, one lesson, one awakening at a time. There is a sound beyond sound, a presence within the absence of words. In the Shaolin path, we do not fear silence. We enter it as a sacred training ground, for it is here that strength takes root, before any action, before any strike, before any decision. When I was a young disciple, silence was my greatest opponent. The noise of my own thoughts felt unbearable. I longed for distraction, for the comfort of voices, for movement to drown the stillness. My master would simply close his eyes and wait. Hours passed, yet he did not move. Only when the weight of silence pressed on me so heavily that I thought I would collapse, he spoke one sentence: "Noise is a leaking jar. Silence is a sealed vessel." The teaching was clear. In noise, energy is wasted. Every scattered word, every restless movement, every careless thought, each one drains life. But silence gathers power. It is like water collecting in a hidden well, unseen but deepening with every quiet moment. Those who fear silence have never touched its gift, for in stillness, the heart begins to beat in rhythm with the universe. Breath slows, awareness sharpens, and suddenly the world reveals a timing far greater than our own. The chosen one learns to hear this rhythm, the whisper of when to act and when to wait. A warrior who acts too soon loses strength. One who waits too long misses the opening. But the one who has trained in silence knows. He does not rush. He does not hesitate. He moves when the moment is ripe, and his action carries the weight of inevitability. Thus, silence is not emptiness. It is preparation, the hidden forge where destiny is shaped before it is revealed. There is a secret thread running through every moment of life, so subtle that most never notice it. That thread is the breath. It enters without effort, it leaves without command, and yet it shapes the very state of our mind and body. In the Shaolin tradition, this is not taken lightly. The breath is the first teacher, the most faithful companion, and the silent key to mastery. The old monks would begin each day not with words, but with breathing. Before the sun rose, their bodies sat still, their lungs expanding and contracting like the tides of the sea. They understood that the mind is restless when the breath is shallow, but when the breath is deep and steady, the mind follows, like a wild horse finally tamed. There is an ancient saying, "He who controls his breath controls his life." This is no exaggeration. Breath governs rhythm, rhythm governs energy, and energy governs destiny. When storms of thought rage, a single deep breath can bring balance. When fear grips the heart, steady breathing dissolves its hold. In battle, in meditation, in daily life, the breath is both shield and sword. In the final hour, when pressure mounts and the air feels heavy, the chosen one does not panic. He does not allow the shallow breath of fear to scatter his focus. Instead, he returns to what has always been within him, slow, disciplined breathing, each cycle rooting him deeper into presence. Through this, body, mind, and spirit align. The body grows firm, the mind clear, the spirit unshaken. Breath is no longer a mere exchange of air. It becomes a bridge between the mortal and the eternal. To master the breath is to master the self, and to master the self is to stand ready for whatever hour may come. A life of mastery does not grow from excess, but from what is stripped away. The Shaolin halls tell this truth without speaking. Their walls are bare, their spaces empty, yet within that emptiness lives a presence stronger than any decoration. Every stone carries the weight of discipline. Every silence echoes with generations of training. Simplicity in this way is not a denial, it is a sharpening. The removal of what is unnecessary allows what is essential to shine. A sword cannot cut while still buried in ore. It must be refined, reduced, and purified until only its edge remains. In the same manner, a life filled with clutter, endless possessions, endless desires, endless distractions cannot strike with power. Only when the noise is cut away does true clarity appear. The monks of old ate simple meals, wore simple robes, and repeated simple practices. Yet within these apparent limits, they discovered vast freedom. To live with less is not weakness, it is strength unburdened, energy no longer scattered across countless wants. It is standing face to face with life, unhidden, unshielded, ready. For the chosen one, destiny does not call when the house is in order, the accounts are settled, or the path feels comfortable. It comes suddenly, like a bell struck in the night. In that moment, simplicity becomes the greatest weapon. The mind uncluttered can respond. The heart unchained can follow. The spirit free from distraction can hear the signal of divine timing. Simplicity is discipline, and discipline is freedom. It is the quiet art of removing the unnecessary until only strength, clarity, and readiness remain. When destiny arrives, the chosen does not need more. He needs less, and in that less, he finds everything. There is a fire that lives within every human being. Left untended, it burns wildly, consumed by anger, fear, and restless desire. But when trained with patience and discipline, this same fire becomes the source of unstoppable strength. The Shaolin path does not teach the extinguishing of fire, but its refinement. Through long years of practice, monks learn to endure hardship not as punishment, but as the forge of their spirit. Endless repetition of movement, long hours in stillness, days of hunger or fatigue, these are not obstacles, they are chisels that shape the raw stone into something sharp and precise. Patience tempers the flame, focus directs it, endurance sustains it. The chosen one understands that energy is too precious to waste on sudden bursts of rage or scattered fears. Anger flares quickly, but leaves only ashes. Fear consumes silently, draining strength before a single step is taken. Both are signs of a fire untrained, spilling uncontrollably. True mastery is to hold that heat within, to contain it, to let it grow steady and bright. When the right moment comes, the release is not reckless. It is deliberate, sharp, and devastating in its precision. A single word spoken at the right time, a single movement delivered with full awareness, carries more power than 100 actions born from impulse. This is the warrior's fire, not a destructive blaze, but a controlled force, ready to serve when called. The ancients compared this discipline to the hidden embers beneath ash, quiet, unseen, yet alive and waiting. To the untrained eye, nothing stirs, but within, the fire is steady, eternal, and prepared to rise. The chosen one carries this flame in silence, knowing that when destiny arrives, the inner fire will answer without hesitation. Strength alone can shatter, but it cannot always endure. Softness alone can bend, but it cannot always protect. True mastery lives in the balance between the two. This is the lesson the Shaolin path has carried for centuries, the lesson written in the movement of water. Water appears weak. It yields to the touch. It slips through fingers. It bends around every obstacle. Yet over time it wears down even the hardest stone. Its strength is not in resistance, but in persistence. Its power is not in force, but in its ability to flow, to adapt, to endure. Shaolin training reflects this truth. Movements shift between firmness and relaxation, strikes are balanced by stillness, power is guided by awareness. The body learns that stiffness breaks, but flexibility survives. The mind learns that unbending will can cause blindness, but gentle adaptability can reveal new paths. The chosen one carries both steel within the spine and water within the heart. To yield at the right moment is not weakness, it is wisdom. A warrior who refuses to bend will snap under the weight of life's storms. A warrior who only yields will be carried away without direction. But one who knows when to step back, when to absorb, when to wait, holds the greater power. And when the time to strike comes, his strength is complete, for it is not clouded by pride or fear. The balance of softness and strength is not a trick of survival. It is a way of harmony. The universe itself moves in this rhythm, night and day, stillness and motion, silence and sound. The chosen one walks in this same balance, learning to yield without surrender, and to strike without cruelty. In this, his power becomes both gentle and unbreakable. Desire is a river that never stops flowing. To drink from it brings a moment of sweetness, but the thirst soon returns, stronger than before. Many spend their entire lives chasing this river, believing that one more possession, one more taste, one more victory will bring peace, yet peace never comes, because desire has no end. The Shaolin tradition does not teach the destruction of desire. It teaches discipline over it. Monks learn to fast, not simply to deny the body food, but to remind the spirit that it is not a slave to hunger. They live with few possessions, not out of poverty, but to sharpen freedom. In restraint, they discover a power far greater than indulgence, the power of choice. To master desire is not to feel nothing, it is to feel the pull and yet remain unmoved. It is to walk through the market without being bound by its temptations. It is to hear the call of craving and answer with silence. Such mastery cannot be bought nor taught in words. It is carved slowly through discipline, through practice, through patience. The chosen one understands this truth deeply. He does not seek to add more layers of comfort, more trophies of success, more noise to the mind. Instead, he removes. He strips away the unnecessary until only what is essential remains. In this space, he finds clarity. In this clarity, he finds strength. Desire chains the restless. Discipline frees the prepared. The path of mastery is not built upon endless gain, but upon the courage to need less. For the one who can stand content in simplicity is untouchable, while the one forever chasing desire remains a prisoner, no matter how much he gathers. Fear arrives like a shadow at dusk, quiet at first, then growing until it seems to fill every corner of the mind. Even the strongest heart can falter under its weight. Yet the Shaolin path teaches that fear is not an enemy to fight, but a presence to understand, a test to meet with stillness. In the early years of training, many disciples ran from fear. The darkness of night, the uncertainty of the next strike, the anticipation of failure, they all felt unbearable. But the masters showed a different way. They would sit motionless, their eyes half closed, bodies unmoving, while the fear around them seemed to roar. And then, without a word, they would rise, calm, steady, unshaken. The lesson was clear. Stillness dissolves fear in ways action cannot. Fear thrives on movement, on rushing, on the clamor of thoughts. It grows when the body trembles, when the mind races, when the heart races ahead of reason. But when the chosen one meets it with stillness, the river of fear slows, its power diminishes. Breathing deep and remaining grounded, the mind observes without judgment. The body holds without tension. The spirit witnesses without resistance. In the final hour, when the world seems to press in from all sides, the one who has trained in stillness does not flee. He does not strike out of panic or grasp for control. He stands, rooted like an ancient tree, calm as the mountain air. Fear may circle like a storm, but it cannot move him. Stillness does not remove danger, but it removes the chains of fear. Courage is not absence, it is presence. The chosen one faces the storm, not with recklessness, but with the quiet certainty that in stillness he has already won the first battle, mastery over himself. Being chosen is a quiet burden that few truly understand. It is not a title to boast nor a privilege to display. The Shaolin masters teach that to be marked by destiny is to be entrusted with awareness, with discipline, with the care of guiding others through example. The weight is invisible, yet heavier than iron. Long ago, a young disciple asked his master why some were chosen while others were not. The master replied simply, "The chosen are not greater, they are ready to serve." It was not a promise of glory, but a call to responsibility. Mastery is never for pride. Every skill honed, every lesson learned, every hardship endured exists to shape the self into a vessel that can carry the way forward for others. The chosen one walks a path where every action is observed, every word carries influence, even in silence he teaches. Every disciplined breath, every act of patience, every moment of restraint becomes a lesson for those who follow. Responsibility transforms every victory into a duty and every hardship into a teaching. To neglect this responsibility is to squander the gift of being chosen. The Shaolin path emphasizes that true mastery is not measured by personal power, but by the ripple it creates in the lives of others. Like the ripple of a stone cast into a still pond, one disciplined life touches many. The chosen one learns that service is the truest form of strength. Pride fades when faced with the greater task of guiding others. Power is hollow without purpose. And so, being chosen is not a reward, it is a calling, a commitment to carry light where others stumble, to stand firm when others waver, and to lead not with arrogance, but with quiet, unwavering presence. True mastery is not found in the striking of a fist, the bending of a limb, or the memorization of a teaching. It is found in wholeness, in the seamless union of body, mind, and spirit. This is the final lesson the Shaolin path offers, the culmination of years of discipline, patience, and reflection. In the training halls, novices often focus on one aspect alone: strength of the body, sharpness of the mind, or purity of the spirit. Yet the masters knew that none of these alone could withstand the trials of life. The body without the mind is a tool without direction. The mind without the spirit is a lantern without flame. The spirit without the body is wind without roots. Only when all three move in harmony does true power arise. The chosen one learns to listen inwardly, to feel the rhythm of the heart and the pulse of life in every action. Movements are not forced, they flow from awareness. Thoughts are not scattered, they align with intention. Spirit is not distracted, it remains anchored, even in chaos. In this alignment, every challenge becomes an opportunity, every trial a mirror reflecting the self. This union does not happen suddenly. It is forged through countless hours of stillness and motion, of restraint and release, of failure and perseverance. The chosen one who has achieved it does not act from impulse, nor is he paralyzed by hesitation. He moves with clarity, speaks with wisdom, and stands with unshakable presence. When the final hour arrives, he is whole. There is no division, no doubt, no hesitation. Body, mind, and spirit are not three separate forces. They are one. And in that oneness, the chosen one is ready, prepared not only to meet destiny, but to transcend it, walking forward with the quiet, unwavering strength of true mastery. The final hour is not a moment to fear, but a call to awaken. Every practice we explored today, silence, steady breath, simplicity, balance, courage, and the weight of responsibility, is a guide for those who feel called to step into their true power. These are not distant teachings, they are tools that can shape each day, moment by moment, bringing clarity, strength, and purpose into your life. When body, mind, and spirit move as one, you are no longer swayed by distraction or fear. You stand whole, ready, not just to face challenges, but to rise above them. This is the essence of mastery, the quiet, unwavering presence that carries through every action, every thought, every breath. Take these principles into your daily life. Begin with small acts of stillness. Breathe with awareness. Choose simplicity over clutter. Find balance in motion and rest. Meet fear with calm courage, and let responsibility guide your steps. In time, you will feel the transformation, the inner fire refined, the mind clear, the spirit aligned. May these teachings guide you on your path, and may you walk forward with the confidence of the chosen. Thank you for joining us on this journey. If you feel called to continue exploring the path of inner mastery, subscribe to Shaolin Soulfire and allow the wisdom of the ages to illuminate every step of your life. Peace be with you, and may your journey unfold with clarity and strength.